Welcome to the EmpowerElle Podcast. I'm your host, Vero, and I'm so excited to have you join me on this journey of empowerment and growth. This podcast is designed for ambitious, high-achieving women who are ready to break free from overwhelm and step into their power. Together, we'll explore practical strategies, share inspiring stories, and hear from experts who can help you navigate the challenges of balancing ambition and well-being. Whether you're looking to cultivate confidence, transform your mindset, enhance your leadership skills, or find harmony in your life, this is the place for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to the EmpowerElle Podcast. I'm so glad that you're here to learn about something that could shift the way that you lead and live. Today's conversation is all about why sleep is non-negotiable for your career success. So take a deep breath and let's dive in. Today, we're talking about something that many ambitious women quietly sacrifice while believing that it's just a part of success, and that is sleep. In high-performing cultures, sleep is often treated like a luxury, something you do when everything else is finished, something you cut back on when life gets busy, and something that can be replaced with coffee, discipline, or pushing through. You've probably heard people say, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." But the truth is that sleep is not the opposite of productivity. Sleep is what makes productivity possible. Sleep is not the enemy of ambition. It's what sustains your ambition. And if you want to build a powerful career, lead effectively, make clear decisions, and show up with energy and confidence, sleep is not optional. It is foundational. Because everything is more difficult without sleep. Many ambitious professionals live in a culture that quietly celebrates exhaustion. Long hours are praised. Late nights are seen as dedication. Running on minimal sleep is something that is worn like a badge of honor. You might hear people say things like, "I only slept 4 hours last night," or "I stayed up until 2 finishing that project," or "I'll sleep when things slow down." But here's the truth that most people don't talk about. Exhaustion is not a sign of commitment. It's a sign that your system is running past its capacity. And when that happens consistently, your performance, your health, and your leadership begins to suffer. Sleep is not simply rest. Sleep is active restoration. During sleep, your brain performs several critical functions that directly impact your ability to succeed at work and in life. It processes information from the day. It strengthens memory and learning. It regulates emotions. It restores mental clarity, and it supports problem solving and creativity. In other words, the very skills that make someone an effective leader are strengthened during sleep. So when you sacrifice sleep, you're not gaining time, you're losing cognitive capacity. Now let's talk about leadership for a moment. When you lead a team, a business, or simply lead your own work and life, or your family, leadership requires clear thinking. It requires emotional regulation. It requires the ability to see the bigger picture. And it requires thoughtful decision making. Now, sleep plays a critical role in all of these. When you are sleep deprived, your brain shifts into a more reactive state. You become more emotionally sensitive. Your patience decreases. Your stress response increases. Your ability to evaluate risk becomes less accurate. You may find yourself making faster decisions, but not necessarily better ones. And you know this. You have experienced this. And over time, this can affect your leadership presence. You might feel more irritable, more overwhelmed, less focused, less confident. Not because you've suddenly lost your ability, but because your brain hasn't had the restoration that it needs. One of the biggest misconceptions about sleep is that cutting back gives you more productive hours. But research consistently shows the opposite. When you sleep less, your efficiency decreases. Your attention span shortens. Your error rate increases. Your creativity declines. You may spend more hours working, but you accomplish less meaningful work. And many people fall into this trap without realizing it. They feel like they're being productive because they're busy. But busyness is not the same as effectiveness. Real productivity comes from focused, high-quality work. And that requires a well-rested brain. Sleep also plays a powerful role in emotional resilience. When you're well rested, your brain can process emotions more effectively. You can navigate challenges with greater calm. You can respond instead of react. You can lead conversations with clarity and empathy. But when you're sleep deprived, emotional regulations becomes much harder. Small frustrations feel bigger, stress feels heavier, patience becomes shorter, and situations that would normally feel manageable can suddenly feel overwhelming. This is one of the reasons sleep is so important for leadership. Leaders are constantly navigating complex situations, conversations, decisions, team dynamics, pressure. And emotional resilience is what allows you to show up with steadiness and confidence. And sleep strengthens that resilience. Another powerful benefit of sleep is creativity. During sleep, your brain organizes information in new ways. It connects ideas. It processes challenges. It often finds solutions to problems that you could not solve while you were awake. I have solved more accounting problems in my sleep than I'd like to admit. And they were always something that I couldn't figure out while I was working on it. I went to bed thinking about the problem and woke up with clarity. That's not a coincidence. Your brain is working behind the scenes. This is one of the many reasons that innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders prioritize sleep. Because creativity and insight are not just products of effort. They're products of restoration. For many ambitious women, redefining success includes redefining the way that we treat rest. That was true for me. Success should not require constant depletion. Success should not require sacrificing your well-being. True success is sustainable. It allows you to lead with clarity, to think strategically, to make powerful decisions, and to show up fully in both your work and your life. And sleep is one of the most important foundations of sustainable success. It allows you to maintain energy, creativity, and resilience over the long term. Not just for a season, but for your entire career. Another interesting perspective to consider is the message that leaders send through their habits. When leaders consistently operate in exhaustion, it often sets an unspoken expectation for everyone around them. Teams may feel the pressure to overwork, to sacrifice rest, to constantly push beyond healthy limits. But when leaders prioritize well-being, something powerful happens. They create permission. Permission for sustainable work. Permission for balance. Permission for high performance without burnout. And that kind of leadership creates healthier, more resilient teams. I've seen that in my career as well. I had a period of time where I was a leader that was on the edge of burnout, not sleeping, overworking, and my team was doing the same and was always on edge. And once I started inputting boundaries and prioritizing myself and sleeping, the whole team started performing better. They exhaled and they started to also take care of themselves. Many people believe that sleep can wait, that they'll rest later when the project is done, when the deadline passes, or when life slows down. But have you ever witnessed life slowing down? It affects your immune system, your mental clarity, your stress levels, your mood, your long-term health. And the earlier that we learn to treat sleep as a priority instead of an afterthought, the stronger our capacity for leadership and impact becomes. So what if we began to treat sleep differently? Not as time lost, but as an investment. An investment in clarity, an investment in energy, an investment in creativity, an investment in leadership and in sustainable success. Because when you sleep well, everything else becomes easier. Decisions become clearer, work becomes more focused, conversations become more thoughtful, challenges become more manageable. Sleep strengthens the very qualities that help you thrive. So I'd love to leave you with a reflection. If you looked at sleep not as something optional, but as something essential to your leadership and success, how might you treat it differently? Would you protect it more? Would you structure your evenings differently? Would you prioritize rest the same way you prioritize important meetings or deadlines? Sometimes small shifts in perspective create powerful changes. And sleep is one of those shifts. Sleep is not a weakness. Sleep is not laziness. It's not something that you earn only after everything else is finished. Sleep is a powerful tool that supports the clarity, energy, and resilience that you need to lead and succeed. And when you start treating it as non-negotiable, something remarkable happens. You don't just feel better, you perform better, you lead better, and most importantly, you live better. So keep choosing yourself, your vision, and your values. That is real power. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning into the EmpowerElle Podcast. I hope today's episode inspired you and gave you practical insights to help you navigate your journey as an ambitious, high-achieving woman. Remember, every step you take towards building your confidence and embracing your full potential is a step closer to creating the life you truly desire. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite platform. Your support helps us reach more women who are ready to step into their power and live their best lives. Don't forget to join our community on social media for more resources, tips, and inspiration. Until next time, lead with power and live with wellness. You are unstoppable.